Message given by Mr. N. Daniel in 1955. John chapter 4, verses 31 through 35. In the meanwhile, his disciples prayed him, saying, Master, eat. But he said unto them, I have meat to eat that ye know not of. Therefore said the disciples one to another, Hath any man brought him aught to eat? Jesus saith unto them, My meat is to do the will of him that sent me, and to finish his work. Say not ye, There are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest? Behold, I say unto you, Lift up your eyes, and look on the fields, for they are white already to harvest. There is work for everyone, and the harvest is great. Are you expecting great things from God? The disciples' minds were engaged with matters of food. They were feeling sorry that lunch had been delayed that day. They went into town hurriedly and bought food for themselves and Jesus. They had left Jesus very weary at the well. Now they wanted Jesus to eat, but there was further delay. Jesus was talking to a woman. They wondered why, but they did not interrupt the conversation. They had to wait. Perhaps they finished eating meanwhile. No sooner had the woman departed, they came to Jesus and said, Master, eat. Jesus said, No, the harvest is ready. There goes the woman who is going to bring the harvest in. The whole town is going to come. Jesus had to be prepared with a message for them. The disciples were thinking of food like people on the natural plane. My meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work, said Jesus. Finishing the work God has planned for him had appeased Jesus' physical hunger and refreshed his body, relieving it of weariness. Jesus was renewed sufficiently to think of satisfying the spiritual hunger of the men of the town. Has anyone brought him food? The disciples wondered. Earthly food would not satisfy the people that were going to come. You are never going to satisfy your earthly relatives or friends with earthly food. They will go back from you hungry, and one day they will accuse you of not showing them the way of life. They may be offended with you if you give them the gospel, but one day they will thank you for offending them that way. The Samaritans were coming for the living bread. Did the disciples have such bread to give them? This woman had an experience to give them. The disciples also had such experience, but it was not uppermost in their mind just then. At the moment, it was past meal time, and they were anxious that Jesus should eat. They were not thinking of the harvest at all. This woman was bursting with the news and thrill of her new experience. She had met the long-awaited Messiah. He had quenched her deep, deep thirst. The people of the town should meet him too. She saw the harvest. There is great need. You do not know how vast it is. Jesus says the harvest is great. Baskets will not be enough to hold it. You may know a little of the Word and a little of Christ. That will not be enough for the harvest. Pray for more workers, says Jesus. He was telling his disciples, Prepare yourselves. The harvest is ready. I am nearly at the end of my work. Jesus meant that his body was nourished when he gave the woman the bread of life and the water of life. Do you have just a vague notion that God may have work for you? Do you think, yes, I will do something for God? But Jesus says, no, there's a great harvest. Read the word. Mark it. People have to be fed.